Welcome into the Daily Wolves podcast. People are joining right now. We're live. That's right. The Minnesota Timberwolves have just won another game against the Phoenix Suns. I feel like at this point, we can just say that the Timberwolves are not scared of the Denver Nuggets, Andrew, and they're not scared of the Phoenix Suns. They look like they just come out to the play every time they play them. They take it personal. And you see it on the floor tonight. It just looks like everybody takes it personal on the team, whether it's Julius Randle, the new guys, Dante. I'm sure they've heard the chatter in the locker room, or the older guys that have played the Phoenix Suns in the rivalries, like Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert. All these guys have come really to play tonight. I thought, a win was a must tonight because the Clippers, they won tonight. Of course, we see that in the West. Andrew, we see Golden State winning against the Pelicans. The Timberwolves, if they were going to stay in it tonight, you got to win this game tonight, man. It was a big win for the Wolves because now you stay afloat, right?
I mean, yeah, they still have the chance of climbing out to like getting that 6th seed, which that's still the goal. They talked about it all week at practice that they want to avoid the play-in. And it makes sense. You get a week off, you get to sleep in your own bed, watch basketball instead of play basketball. I mean, that is their goal, is to try and get the 6th seed. I think what's frustrating if you're a Wolves fan, or even for the Wolves, is the Clippers keep winning. Golden State keeps winning. I mean, the Grizzlies just fired their coach, so maybe they'll be the team that falls. I like you said, though, it's just something about playing this Suns team that they wake up for. And I think that's, again, being with them all week at practice, talking to them at like their charity events that they did. That's, the players are just as frustrated as the fans. They don't really understand why certain players, certain guys aren't waking up, quote unquote, for games. Hopefully they can wake up again for the Pistons, because every game matters now. This is like officially playoff time.
Honestly, playoff time for sure. Shout out to our guy we put on the screen there with the sweep with the Suns. That's right. The Minnesota Timberwolves own the Suns, but yeah, the Timberwolves, I think they still control their playoff odds potentially. I mean, you can still get the 6th seed. It's right there for the taking. The Warriors, they have an easy schedule coming up. I mean, I looked at their schedule. They have like the Spurs coming up. They have some easy games here. They just faced the Pelicans tonight. No Zion Williamson, but the Timberwolves, they can just continue to win, hopefully. And the next games coming for the Wolves, they're a little bit harder. They are, if you look at the schedule. But once you get past that, you have Memphis, you have Denver, you have Detroit coming up on Sunday, in a few days here. If you can get a couple of those wins, I mean, you end the season pretty good. So there's still a chance. The Wolves they're right there. They're just sitting there. Pistons looking scary, Nick says, man.
I was just going to say that's the frustrating part, right? Is their schedule looks pretty good. You're looking at it, you got, the Nets, 76ers, the Jazz, the Nets again, the Grizzlies, Bucks might not be playing Giannis at that point, but those are all games that the Wolves may not wake up for. And I'd honestly expect them to wake up for the Sunday game against the Pistons more than the Saturday game the following Saturday game against the 76ers. To Nick's point, I mean, the Pistons are awesome. I mean, Cade has been, I didn't think Cade was going to be at this level, like this fast, but he is everything for that team. Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren, they have a deep team. Malik's been awesome as kind of their 3-point gunner. It's going to be a tough game for them. And if there is something to it, I think the Pistons are going to struggle to guard the Wolves quite a bit. I mean, Cade is really good, but he's not exactly a monster on the defensive end of the floor. You look at kind of the rest of their roster. I mean, who's going to really be the guy that's able to take Ant out? The other side of it is, yes, they have good post players, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart, to name those two, but who's going to be able to keep Gobert off the glass if he comes in like he did tonight? I mean, he dominated for most of the night, offensive rebounds.
I mean, absolutely dominated, like you said tonight. I thought Gobert was actually, I posted it early in the game. I thought he was impactful. I thought he felt his presence tonight. 17 points for Rudy Gobert, 13 rebounds, an absolute menace on the glass tonight. Felt his defensive presence as well. Phoenix does not have the size to match up with Rudy Gobert at all. And we saw it tonight. Nick Richards cannot handle Rudy Gobert. They don't
No.
have anybody else to handle him. And so I thought that was just like a telling point tonight of how big of a factor Rudy really is and how much more of a factor even maybe Rudy Gobert is than he was even last year when Minnesota and Phoenix faced each other in the regular season and the playoffs. I thought Julius Randle tonight too. Speaking of players that have had fantastic games, he had a fantastic game tonight. 25 points for Julius Randle. Established his dominance early in this game here. 10 points within the first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. He was really doing it all for the Timberwolves. 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Again, triple-double watch for Julius Randle tonight as well, Andrew. Looking like an all-star. Those are all-star, all-NBA numbers for Julius Randle tonight. And I thought he was just all over the floor. What did you think of his game and Rudy Gobert's game?
I mean, he started off so well. I mean, first quarter, he had 12 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, plus 7. I mean, he was awesome. He was finding guys. He was making quick decisions. He wasn't holding the ball very long. Those weird jump passes that he does were all on target tonight. And it's interesting because, like, Julius at practice talked quite a bit about just like, they need to lead by example. They need guys that come out here and do all of the little things, jumping in gaps, helping on the weak side defense, being the low man when somebody gets blown by. And Julius did all of that. I mean, I think he really took it personally of, I need to be the leader and I need to set the tone. I think that translated. I hate to say it, but like, this team offensively didn't really change a whole lot this game. I think they were making quite a few more shots, but like their assist percentage was like 63%, wasn't ideal. Their assist to turnover was like 2.3, not ideal. They were going through a lot of just ISO plays again, not really looking for each other, but they were doing all of the little things. And that's what kind of helped build that lead up. That's what kind of motivated everyone to get back on defense and play. And like, I want to turn it over to you. I mean, Jaden McDaniels, he blocked the Kevin Durant turnaround. How many times have you seen that in 17 years? Like once, like just this time?
Not many times. 16 points for Jaden McDaniels tonight. Obviously blocked Kevin Durant on that play. And I posted about it as well. Just saying I would pay money. I would pay to just watch Jaden McDaniels over and over, them go back and forth, play one-on-one, whether it's a practice, I don't care, you name it, can be friendly. Obviously, Kevin Durant's a much better scorer than Jaden McDaniels, so obviously KD would probably have his way with Jaden overall in the offensive thing. But like, then again, it's just so weird to see two body types that are so they're about the same, right? And to see them go at it, it's so weird to see them go at it. So I felt like tonight to see that, it was like incredible from just an outside like NBA fan to watch Jaden and KD compete against each other. Maybe they're future teammates here coming up. And if you can imagine that, I always say Jaden is one of the people who would benefit most from Kevin Durant coming to Minnesota, learning how he moves his body that way and his size, all those little things that you see flashes of from Jaden. I think that would be insane. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen, so we're not going to really go into that right now because we're still covering the game. But, I mean, it's just still fun to think of if you're a Wolves fan out there. I thought also Mike Conley, great game tonight as well. Starts off the game, hits a step back 3, looks like the young Mike Conley we saw from, last year, a few years ago. He doesn't look like he's banged up. I saw recently, I heard on the Dane Moore podcast with Jace, Andrew, that Mike Conley kind of came out and he talked about his health, how he wasn't ready to go before the season, how in the offseason he got injections so he could play this year. And then in the season, he didn't feel like he was even himself, according to Jace Frederick, until 40 games in the season or so. That's a ton of the games, Andrew, where Mike Conley was basically not feeling himself. On top of that, he wasn't even able to practice the entire summer or do anything with his left hand with that left wrist injury he had. That's something that wasn't really reported on earlier in the year when people were, all of us, including us, maybe were doubting Mike Conley and the Timberwolves. I mean, how big of an impact, is that to have him kind of, as we're seeing, coming back here the last 14 games, Mike Conley's shooting 55% from three-point line. That's insane. He's starting to come back, right? But I think the injury to the wrist for Mike, everything that he's been doing to get back to where he's at right now, I think it's understated how much he was hurting in the beginning of the year, injury wise. Man, what do you think about that, Andrew?
I mean, first, Jace Frederick. Like, if you don't have a subscription to like the Pioneer Press, like Jace is one of the reasons to get it. He's like the Mike Conley whisperer. About once every month, he gets Mike Conley off to the side, and they have like a 15-minute conversation, and like Jace reports on all of it. He's awesome, and like seriously, if you need a reason to get I think they're 50 cents now. Maybe they're 75. If you need a reason to get like a 75-cent St. Paul paper from the gas station, like Jace is one of those reasons. Mike Conley, it's interesting because when he came into camp, he was wearing a wrap, and we asked him about it. We were asking him about the wrist, about the wrap, about all of that stuff, and he was pretty honest from the jump of just, you know, he wasn't able to do his normal off-season stuff. He wasn't able to really use his wrist at all. He injured his wrist originally way back with Memphis, and it's just been something that kind of flares up every once in a while. And he said that a hard fall in the Denver series made that flare up. And, you know, it's probably something, as he says, it's probably something he'll have to have surgery on at some point, but it's not like a career-threatening injury. And that's kind of where he left it. He never used it as an excuse. He never brought up his wrist. He never brought up the pain. When we asked him about it, he was like, yeah, it's just something. We'd ask him if it messed with his shot timing, and he'd be like, nah, it's just something. But now that he is fully healthy, I think Mike is just one of those guys that doesn't make excuses for himself. And earlier on in the season, that kind of would have been an excuse for why he's playing poorly, which I think a lot of fans and people would be like, that's a fair excuse. Your wrist is ganked. Like, what are you supposed to do? But at this point in the season where he's looking awesome and he's justifying why Finch is stuck with him all season, it makes sense for him to come out and be like, yeah, that thing I was dealing with actually really sucked. So like, for fans that are going to be supporting me in the playoffs, like, this is why I wasn't up to snuff. Now it's feeling good. It's healthy. I think the other thing that's like understated is like those nagging career-long injuries just suck. I mean, Mike had talked about it, that just like this is flared up in Utah. It flared up at the end of his Memphis season or his Memphis career. And it just is kind of a cyclical thing where if he lands on it wrong, it can flare up. I just think this one, given his age, just takes a lot longer to recover from.
I mean, yeah, and then on top of that, you get a dislocated finger that he was dealing with. So at age 37, Mike Conley's really getting put through the ringer body-wise. And I think fans could question a lot of things. Is he cooked? Is he too old? I think we question it as well, which is fair assumption. And again, Mike Conley wouldn't share those things. He kept it under the wrap. He made it seem like can come out and play every day. Everything's going to be okay. I think that's a leadership thing that he brings to the team that's so underestimated. Why he's so important to this Timberwolves team, because Anthony Edwards comes out every day and tries to play, but I'm not sure he does that if Mike Conley doesn't play. Because what's your excuse if you're Anthony Edwards and you see your veteran guy, your OG, like Mike Conley, coming out and playing through pain, through all these injuries that they know?
Sneaker reporter.
Travis in the building, sneaker reporter, my guy. Yeah, if you didn't know, guys, Andrew's coming live from Target Center post game, so he just wrapped up press with Chris Finch. Yeah, he's in the bowels there. All the guys are there. But Anthony Edwards tonight. Speaking of Ant-Man, I thought Anthony Edwards was potentially going to be rocking that face mask. That looked like potentially a broken nose from the injury. Collides with Kevin Durant there. What'd you think of that? And kind of, again, Andrew, every time Anthony Edwards is down, kicking his leg, grimacing, seems like he's in pain, he comes back so far in his career. Another night of that, huh?
I mean, when he went down like that and they immediately were throwing towels at him, and like after he left, security was kind of like looking at the court and wiping stuff up. Like, I for sure thought like he broke it, especially when he didn't come right back. Like, if it was just a bloody nose, you see people get hit in the face and come back right away all the time.
Yeah.
That being said, like, I'm guessing it was a pretty good stinger that he was dealing with, and he does. He always comes back. Naz Reid jokes about it quite a bit, that like he calls it Paul piercing, from Paul Pierce getting wheelchaired out and then coming back in. But it's interesting that like Ant this early in his career just kind of continuously does this. And it's kind of a tribute to his pain tolerance, and also just, he's never really been hurt. I think there is something too when you're a young player and you're getting these stingers. They feel so much more scary because you've never really had that like big injury that's kept you out for 3 months. And I think that's something Ant probably worries about is if I'm out for 3 months, what do I do?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to think about if Ant were ever to get a serious injury, what he thinks of it, because he might not exactly know. Like you said, 20 points for Anthony Edwards tonight, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Obviously, didn't play after he gets the injury early in the game, so he doesn't play till the second half here. That is why he probably only had 20 points tonight. For those who probably look at the box score, who didn't watch the game, thinking maybe Ant didn't perform against the Phoenix Suns, or they look at the score and think because it's a blowout, Anthony Edwards potentially didn't have a lot of points. But I wouldn't say that's the case. That's just Ant not playing enough minutes. But I thought he looked good. He was making some 3-pointers tonight, which obviously we saw his hand affected a lot of his efficiency in the last game where he was absolutely horrendous from the field. Only 17 points the other game, 1 for 11 from 3. Anthony Edwards tonight looked like he was starting to look like Anthony Edwards tonight, right? Which I think is important. He was still dealing with the laceration on his thumb. He still had the wrap, Andrew, on his hand there. But I think hopefully he gets healthy here in the next week or so, and we put that laceration behind him. Obviously, Sunday, big game against the Pistons. Cade Cunningham was out tonight for the Pistons, but he'll probably be back, I assume, on Sunday. Not a serious injury for Cade. So we'll see how the Timberwolves come out and they play, because that's a really underestimated team in the East. That's a really good team. Cade's really good. I think their whole team is really solid. They're gritty. They're tough. They're physical. They're going to get up in your body. I think Isaiah Stewart's not afraid to get physical, as we've seen. He might get in a fight someday, has already kind of gotten a fight. But I think they're just dogs on that team. Malik Beasley, a former Timberwolf as well, will be in that game, Andrew. So it's always good to see Malik playing, and he's someone that I loved when he played for the Wolves. I think Anthony Edwards and him have a really good relationship still, and it's awesome to see those. It's awesome to see the Pistons do good. And either way, if the Wolves were to lose, Andrew, honestly, it's kind of a win-win in a weird way. Not really, but like kind of a little bit, because the Timberwolves, they get the Pistons pick if they do good, right? So it could be an interesting game, huh?
Yeah, I mean the Wolves, if the Pistons lose, it's all on seeding, so it'll really depend on when they get knocked out of the playoffs. But the Wolves need to win this game. It's at home. The Pistons, to their credit, are a good team, but if you're looking up and down their roster, they don't have the talent that the Wolves have. So I think it's a catch-22, because this is a game that the Wolves could be riding high after beating Phoenix again and just slip back down to their old habits before they go out and play the Pistons. Or it could be a game where they just really take it seriously and blow them out of the water. The Pistons, though, like, they're good this year. They're fun to watch. They have a bunch of gritty guys. Like you said, Malik Beasley. I don't know how cool he is with Ant. Like Ant wanted number 5, and Malik was like, no, you can be number 1. So he, there might be something there. But I think regardless, like, hopefully it's another game like this, because at this point in the season, they got to start stacking these things together and proving that if they make it into the playoffs, that this is a team that can do this for a whole series, which that's the question right now. If they get up 3-1 in the series, they're the perfect team to lose that series. I think the other thing I'm going to be looking for is just, does the ball movement continue to improve? Are we going to see people deferring? Are we going to see people passing? Is there going to be more of the ISO ball at the end of games if it's close? I was actually kind of hoping that this one would be a little closer, just so we could see the end game, not like clutch time, but just the end game where Ant tends to call his own number a little bit more and then kind of takes people out of the flow. But a blowout's good too. We got to see them dribble out the clock, which we really haven't been able to see a ton of lately. Even on their win streak, a lot of those wins were just kind of gritty wins. I mean, moving forward after the Pistons, though, they do go on the road up until their last 2 games. And I think that'll be really interesting too, because the Wolves are a team that prepares better on the road. when they're scheduled, when their lives are more orderly, when, you know, maybe they don't have distractions that are otherwise at home. I'm kind of interested to see how that goes, because this is going to be a road team on the playoffs now. They're not getting to the 4 seed.
A better team on the road for sure. Devin Booker tonight, 4 for 14, struggled against the Timberwolves tonight as well. Kevin Durant went 7 for 19 against the Wolves. Didn't really catch fire of anything until the last, quarter and a half there. So I thought Minnesota played them really, really good. Had their number, shut them down, let them know what's up. Obviously, no Bradley Beal tonight. Royce O'Neal was the one player who I thought had an outline tonight, a really good game. But it'll be interesting to see how the Wolves do. I think if they beat the Pistons on Sunday, that's what you're hoping if you're a Wolves fan, because I think, again, like you said, they go on the road and they play better on the road. That should give you hope that there's a potential, there's a chance. If they win Sunday at home, there's a chance the Timberwolves could start to put something together and they could come in and we can just kind of go down to the wire and see, maybe we get the tiebreaker. Maybe it comes down to the last game. But just the exciting run of the playoffs, of the play-in. Let's just kind of see how it all comes out. It's not the end of the world if they make the play-in tournament. Honestly, I still have them making the play-in at this rate. I think it's going to be tough to pass them. But, I mean, you're playing for the 7th seed. You're probably going on the road, or you're in Minnesota. You're facing the Clippers in the 7th seed. Not for sure, but it's going to be the Clippers or Golden State. Winner takes all. Kind of see how it goes. And if not, you go to the AC game and let's see how it goes through there. But yeah, guys, it's been awesome having everybody on tonight. Andrew, it's been awesome having you on as well. Before we get out of here tonight, the last thing we will say, we are partnered with Better, the best sports betting app out there. If you go to your app store right now and you type in letter BETR, you can search Better on the sports betting app. Download it today on your iOS device or Android. Put in promo code, sign up code, the Daily SBN. You see it on the screen right there. And for those listening, it's going to be all one word, the Daily, letter S, letter P, letter N. Get $200 deposit match on your first bet on Better today by using our promo code. We're also partnered with SeatGeek, the best concert. You name it, tickets to any any event you want to go to, whether it's the Timberwolves, MLS team here in town, Twins are just starting. You can go out on SeatGeek and get your tickets today. Promo code The Daily Wolves on SeatGeek and $20 off your next purchase on SeatGeek. It's that easy. Take advantage of that today, guys. We appreciate having everybody on our live stream as always. And until next time, Andrew, go Wolves.
You did. Now you came up to me.
I'm giving one plug before I get out of here. We are going to have another guest on next week. Lucas Kaplan from Nets Daily and Swish Theory is going to be joining us to talk Nets. That's Nadine from Gopher Hole. There she is. But go Wolves.
Yeah, go Wolves as always. Definitely tune in next week. You guys are going to want to see that. We face the Brooklyn Nets, but getting another reporter, getting an outside perspective on the Timberwolves, it's always a good time for us. It's always a good time, hopefully, for fans, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. We love having special guests on. So, again, until next time, guys, we'll see you.